Hello, good morning, everyone. Can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me, everyone?
Good morning, ma'am.
Oh, great. Good morning again.
Good morning.
Morning.
Um,
It's great
good
to,
morning, ma'am.
good morning. It's great to have us again this month. If you are joining us for the first time, this is the WAiC network. It is a capacity building group, principally women and postgraduate students in the built environment. At WAiC, we we offer mentorship, collaboration, and most importantly, we learn. We learn how to improve our research and our teaching outcomes. So since WAiC started over a year ago, we have had several impactful webinars. And today I'm very sure we'll have another great session. Today, the title of our webinar is Giving Back Through Academic Citizenship and Community Engagement. When we look at life, we can describe life in several ways. We can say that life is like a system that has several components that depend on each other. If we look at plant life, for instance, plants, they give out oxygen. That's basic biology. We all know that. They give out oxygen and we take in carbon dioxide. And they take in carbon dioxide. They give out oxygen that we take in. And the loop continues, the circle continues. It's a give and take thing. Also, we see that animals depend on plants. They eat plants, they feed on plants, and those animals, by all means, must give their manure, okay, for the plants to flourish, and so that we can also have food. So it's just a circle that goes on and on. So we are wired to give back. We are wired to be people that would make impact and touch on lives generally. So we are not really called to maybe build a rocket, go to the moon, or do something extraordinary out of this world. If we do that, fine. But the emphasis is the little things we can do to make a difference. So we are actually wired for that. And I know that as mothers, as wives, working with work, at times you begin to wonder, where do I get the time and the space to do all of this? Okay, and at times we also think that we must get to a particular level before life seems like you can balance. But the truth is, life might not necessarily offer you that opportunity. You just have to find a way of creating the balance and making impact. But by all means, it is important that we contribute. You know, for us in the construction industry, we've talked so much about marginalization, gender inequality, the stereotypes, and all of that. But what are we doing about these things? Yes, those changes may take time, may take a while before we begin to see incremental changes. But what are we doing about the younger generation coming? Are we telling them that, yes, it is true, it's not easy, it seems like a man's world, but these and these are the pitfalls. These are the likely challenges, and you can avoid them if you do this and this and this. So even as little things as that means we are giving back. So we could give back in several ways. We can give back to community. We can give back within our career space. We can even the smile, okay, and the hope we offer to our fellow colleagues is something that is giving back. So, but today, and we have someone in the house, an amazing personality who has a lot of experience with this. And we also have other women that will be speaking with her as well as we go on. They've had one or two experiences with this giving back. And then she will be speaking from her wealth of experience and inspiring us to give back. And I'm talking about no other person than Dr. Ayobami Busari. She's from the Department of Civil Engineering at the Federal University of Ekiti State, Nigeria. At the appropriate time, we will learn more about our awesome speaker during her time of our biography. But now we would like to say to you, Doc, we are grateful to have you. She's not within now, she's outside, somewhere outside the country, and talking about the time difference. It just occurred to me that, man, the time difference is something. But then she did not even look at it just because she wanted to be part of this, to support what we are doing here. And Ma, we're saying we're grateful, we're thankful, and we're also inspired by your works. We look at your works and we are inspired to be the best of that we can be. So Ma, we are thankful and grateful again on behalf of everyone of us. We are grateful for your time, grateful that you obliged us to come and speak to us today. So for the rest of us, we'd just like to say, do have a great time, listen in, contribute as much as you can, and let's have a great webinar together. Thank you. So we'll be having the biography shortly, and we'll have architect Joy Kikelomo. I don't know if she's in the house. Okay, I don't see her here. Okay. So that we don't take so much time, I think I'll just try to read from my side. Just pardon me. I just want to share the screen so that we can follow as I read. Okay. Okay, can we see the screen now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, we can.
Oh,
Yes, ma'am.
I'll just read from here. Dr. Mrs. Ayobami Adebola Busari is a senior lecturer in the Department of Civil Engineering at Federal University, Nigeria. She obtained her undergraduate degree in civil engineering at Ladoke Akintola University of Technology, Ogbomoso, Nigeria. After graduating from the university, she worked with several civil engineering, construction, and consulting firms, where she participated in the design and construction of several notable infrastructure in Nigeria. She obtained a Master's of Engineering in Civil Engineering, Highway and Transportation option from the Federal University of Technology, Akure, Nigeria. And based on her quest and passion for knowledge, she pursued a PhD in civil engineering at Covenant University, Ogun State, Nigeria, under the supervision of Professor Joseph Akimusu, a renowned pavement engineering expert. She joined academia after 7 years of professional practice. She has worked in institutions such as Covenant University, Federal University Oye Ekiti, and Osun State University, Osun State, Nigeria, as a full lecturer and as adjunct lecturer. She was selected for a national assignment through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs as a technical aid corps at Kabale University, Uganda, where she served in the Department of Civil Engineering. In 2019, she won the prestigious Twanshe University, Pretoria, South Africa postdoc grant to work on self-healing pavement using the trash treasure concept of the Faculty of Construction and the Built Environment. Based on her contribution to pavement and transportation research, she was awarded the CED Outstanding Professional Women in the Built Environment. In 2020, she also received the Chancellor's Outstanding Researcher of the Year Award at Covenant University, Ota, Ogun State, Nigeria, and was also rated the 184th researcher in Nigeria based on Scopus rating for the year. She has also received a traveling grant for the WAiC conference in Siena, Italy, and other local traveling grants, and has been called to the esteemed Nigeria Young Academy. Dr. Mrs. Ayobami Busari is a sectional editor of the Annals of Science and Technology of NYA, that is the Nigerian Young Academy. She was also the sectional editor of Fuyejet between 2020 and 2022. She has also served as an associate editor of the Open Journal of Engineering in Europe. She has contributed to over 100 scholarly articles in reputable journals, mostly indexed in Scopus and Web of Science with citations. This is in her quest to contribute to knowledge. Her research focus is on pavement engineering, transportation engineering, traffic engineering, concrete technology, etc. Some of her research has been funded by Twanshe University and Covenant University. She has also been a co-investigator on some major research initiatives. Dr. Mrs. Ayobami Busari is the pioneer chair of the Association of Professional Engineering Women in Nigeria, Ota chapter. She is a registered engineer with the Council for the Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria, COREN. She is also a member of several engineering bodies, such as the Association of Professional Engineers and Geoscientists of Saskatchewan, Canada, the American Society of Civil Engineers, ASCE, and the Association of Professional Engineering Women in Nigeria, APOEN. She is passionate about youth development and girl-child advocacy based on her interest. Based on her interest, she established the Young Tech Africa Initiative. It was born out of a passion to help African youths scale through the peculiar challenges of the African continent through knowledge transfer and mentorship. The initiative has organized mentorship programs in some countries in Africa. She's married to Dr. Busari Ismaila, and the marriage is blessed with children. Join me, welcome our guest speaker of today, Dr. Busari Ayobami. Ma, you have the floor. You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can.
Good morning, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma, we can hear you. Good morning, ma.
Let me try and share my screen. I'm coming, please. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Ma'am.
Yes, yeah. Good morning once again. I
morning.
want to thank the convener of WAiC, Dr. Patience, for this great opportunity. It's a privilege I'm not taking for granted. And when she talked to me about this, I was like, oh, really? Am I in the best position to talk about this topic, Because this is something I'm also working on. Yeah. So presenting this and looking about this has given me the opportunity to even know more about, giving back an academic citizenship. So that is what I'll be talking on majorly today. And, when you look at the topic, you will feel like, oh, you have some keywords there that are are they ambiguous? I don't know, but you feel, what is this all about in the real sense? What is academic citizenship? And how do we give back to the society as lecturers? Because when we talk about giving back, people see it as a big deal, like, I don't have this, I don't have that. And, it's very challenging. And the fact that we are women makes it even really worse. So to make this job easier, I've decided to split the topic into two. The first part will be on academic citizenship, and the next one will be on community engagement. I decided to separate it so that we'll have a clear direction. So I have this as my outline. This is what I'll be speaking on today. Now, because of my time, I want us to have, like, I call it a sober reflection now. I just want us to think. I want us to think and think about this. When last did you give back to the society? I want us to just reflect over this. When last? And when I'm talking about just giving back to the society, I'm not talking about the last time you gave rice to your neighbor. I'm not talking about the last time you gave maybe 100 naira, 200 naira to somebody on the street. It's part of giving back, really important. When last have you done a major giving back? As a lecturer, as somebody in academics, as a professional, when last? Have you given back to your professional body? When last have you given back to the community where you are? Have you given back to the community where your institution is being situated? When last have you done that? It's a sober. I want us to think about it. The next question is, how often do you do this? How? Is it once in a year? Is it once in 5 years? Is it once in 10 years, or you have never done it before? These are the things I want us to think about. And thank God, when our convener was talking, she said something that was vital. Life is all about giving back. That is the whole essence of life. It's all about giving back. Apart from we being professional, I'm sorry. Excuse me, please. It's all about giving back to the society. Now, I said I'll be dividing this into two. Who is an academic citizen? Who is that person? When I saw that word, it was somehow big. I was like, academic citizen, who is an academic citizen? Let me ask you, who? Now, an academic citizenship, covers activities additional to normal teaching and research. We are women in academics, right? Construction academics, but we are in academics. We are teachers, university teachers, polytechnic teachers. We teach in colleges, and based on our job roles and duties, we engage in teaching and research. Isn't it? That is what we are paid to do. That is why we are in school. That's what we have been paid to do, isn't it? If we don't teach, if we don't carry out research, you may not have promotion. You may just be there, and you may even lose your job. But when we talk about academic citizenship, it means those extra things that we do apart from teaching and research. That is just it. What other thing are you doing apart from coming to school to teach and to carry out research in the lab? Are you doing something extra? If you are not doing anything extra apart from your teaching engagement and your research, then you are not an academic citizen. You don't belong to this category. You are not an academic citizen at all if you are not doing any other thing apart from coming to school and to teach. And that is what most of us do. When I first joined academia, so that is what I do. I just carry my bag, I come to school, I teach, and maybe that time I was running my PhD, I go to the lab, I do this, and I go back. That was my focus. But I wasn't an academic citizen because life goes beyond that. So that is what academic citizenship is all about. Is those extra things, those little things that you do apart from your normal teaching and research. And the academic citizenship encompasses the benefit and responsibility of belonging to the academic community and all interaction with and within the academic community. And it encompasses a broad range of externally and internally focused contribution. I'm very careful with those words. Externally and internally focused contributions. We'll get to it because of time. Let me just move on. Now, I said, life can be, I don't want to say life is difficult for women, but it can be, you know what I mean. As a woman, you are a wife, you are a mother, you are a lecturer, you are a researcher, you have church activities, your family needs you, both nuclear and extended, you have functions during the weekend, and a lot of things. Your children need your attention, and several things to do. And you think about it, how will I incorporate this again into teaching and research? Even with teaching and research, some of us are still struggling to meet up with deadlines, to meet up with time. Then how do I bring this again into it? It's quite challenging. And that is why I said we have several barriers. And what other barriers do we have? Let's look at it. Now, I said academic citizenship is all about those little things, those extra things that we do apart from what teaching and research, isn't it? That is what I said academic citizenship is all about. Now, what are the barriers? No time. In Nigeria, you know the way we say it, no time to say time. No time to even say time itself. No time. Yes, especially for some of us who has worked with private, we know how challenging it is. This, they give deadline. We have deadline. But also that deadline, you have test to mark, you have this. No time to say time. So I've not even finished teaching and research. So what is Busari saying? I hope this woman understands what she's talking about. No time to say time. Before you say Jack Robinson, it's 5 o'clock already and the day is gone. And for us as women, at times when I was still at Covenant University, at times when I go out to buy stores, maybe around 6, 7, I see some of my male colleagues in the office working. They are in the laboratory working. But for a woman, once it's 5, closing time, my day is gone. I'll have to pick children, I have to do this, I have to do that. And at times I wonder, when I first got joined academia, am I going to survive? Or I should go and look for another profession. Am I going to survive? They will be there. And you know what? They will not change promotion criteria. Hope you know. They will not say this criteria is for men, this one is for women. We both have the same promotion criteria. And I will look at myself and I will laugh. How will I scale through? And now Busari is saying, you have to be an academic citizen again. But I want to tell you today that it's possible. It's achievable. People have done it. It is very, very achievable. And in fact, it is beneficial. Now, no time to say time. That is why I don't think I can participate in any other thing apart from teaching and research. Let me just do what I'm being paid for and let me leave the rest. Then the next thing is community engagement. Hey, the first time somebody saw me doing a community engagement with my initiative, the person just looked at me and said, wow. I said, what is it? Do you know what she said? No money. And that is what comes to our mind when we talk about community engagement. You know the way salary is at home. We know how we do it. By the time cooperative remove his own, this one too remove his own, you want to pay school fees, I want to contribute to this. Before the salary comes, you have finished it. That is how we do it. It is finished. Before it comes, it is finished because thank God we are in academics. We'll have taken Biro, you calculate and calculate, it's finished. So how do I engage the community? How do I contribute to this? But I want to assure you, everything is not all about to the society. It's not all about money. Yes, money may be involved because money answers all things. But it is not even, that is not the focus. That is not the major thing. And those are the things we'll be looking at today. Now, before I move on, the last one, you can see that woman, you can see she's very confused. See how confused she is because of the numerous things I've talked about. But I want you to know that as women, we are not limited. We are limitless. We are limitless as women. We can do anything. In as much as we can think about it, we can conceive that idea, we can do it. We are limitless. Because that is one thing, again, people say, I cannot engage the community, I cannot give back to this, I cannot because I'm a woman. You don't know, life can be difficult for a woman, but we are limitless. We can do anything. Anything. Now, I want us to look at this list of influential women in education for the last 10 years. Oh, I'm sorry, I thought I listed their names. I'm sorry for that error. I have these women from all faces of, you can see, black, white, they are out there. They are the influential women in education. And I was trying to look at the criteria that was used. Do you even know that it is not even about their teaching and research? It's about their impacts. It is about the impact they have contributed to the community and to the world at large. How do you make those meaningful impacts? How do you think they were known? In fact, there's a particular professor I read about from one country that I've not even heard about. Why do you think she was spotted? It was not because she was in the class teaching. We have a lot of beautiful, brilliant mind teachers teaching who have taught in the past and who have gone, and the world did not even recognize them. These two beautiful women were recognized because of their impact, of their community impact, and their impact to the world. You want to be rated along with this influential woman. I want to be rated along this woman too. My academic teaching and research alone is not enough to do this. It's not enough for me to put a footprint. It's not enough for people to talk about me when I'm gone. Yes, my students will talk about me when I'm gone. And yes, in Nigeria, I've taught, but I want to be known globally too. The only way this can happen is when we engage. And that is why this topic is very sensitive at this time. Now, before I move on, I need to ask you, what is your goal in life? I want us to think about what exactly is your goal? What is your goal? Is your goal about, okay, let me just do this job and have a living, and that is all? If that is what you are living for, then it is not a good life. So that is why I'm putting here that this community engagement, academics, is it a choice or an obligation? It is a choice. Is it a choice or an obligation? But I will ask this question again after the teaching. So let's move on. Now, what is your goal in life? Our major goal in life is to make an income, isn't it? Yes, we want to make a living. But even while making an income, we must also make an impact. The ultimate goal in life is to make an income, even while making an impact. And why? Mahatma Gandhi said, in a gentle way, you can shake the world. It's all about making that impact. It's all about shaking the world in a gentle way. In the corner of that your office, you can shake the world. In that your cubicle, you can shake the world. In your house, you can shake the world. As a mother, as a lecturer, you can shake the world. That is what impact is all about. That is what community engagement and academic citizenship is all about. Now, do you know that life is not important except in the impact it has on the life of others? Yes, you are making impact in the classroom. What about impact? Are other people feeling that impact too? And for us to shine our light and make a positive impact on the world, there's nothing so honorable as helping to improve the life of others. That is academic citizenship and community engagement. Now, let's just go back. That is just like a form of preamble. Let's go to the topic majorly now. Can professors contribute to society outside the lecture hall? Can we? Outside the lecture hall. Can we do that? Yes, we can. As university lecturers, as polytechnic lecturers, as college, as people lecturing in colleges, we can contribute outside that classroom. And how can we do this? It can be inter or intra, internal or external. I said that from the beginning. It can be inter or intra. Now let's see. Let's look at some intra activities that we can do to engage as an academic citizen. For us to know to do something else apart from teaching and research. Let's look at some intra activities that we can do. How many committees have you been called into? I want you to ask yourself, how many committees have you been called to serve? I was surprised when I was speaking with someone and he said, I don't know how they do this committee thing. So it seems they are partial. They will just put some and they will not put some. Because some are not even ready to do anything. Let me just teach and collect salary. Do you pay attention to deadlines? These are some things I want us to talk about. When last did you mentor a junior staff? When last? I'm asking you. And I'm asking myself, when last? You know what? There was a time I was struggling with paper writing when I first joined the academia. Nobody to tutor, and somebody volunteered to mentor me. Each time, the first publication I had in Scopus, I was like, hey, me, Scopus. It was like somebody dashed me ₦1,000,000. Scopus, me. How? How did it happen? And even till date, anytime any of my paper is being accepted, I remember that person. Most of you know Professor Molly David. Anytime I remember him, my heart, my soul will just bless him. This man. Anytime they accept any of my paper, my soul blesses that man. He did not even know. Even till now, he did not know. He has forgotten. When last did you mentor a junior college? Something happened to me. I said I'm still learning. Something happened to me last year. I was serving at my national assignment, and not a student really, because the person has worked as a GA, graduate assistant before, that I've tried to mentor somehow. I didn't even see it as, just ask question. I will sit him down, do it this way, and do that. And it was, the person now got a scholarship to the US to, I think he's now doing a PhD, and it was World Teachers Day. And he was like, ma, can you send me your account details? I said, account details for what? I said, no need. I've forgotten that during the time of the mentor, there was a transaction we had. I don't know how it got. I think we had a transaction, maybe it was paying to something, or they were supposed to pay something to my account, maybe. I can't remember. And this person just wired some dollars. I was like, in fact, I don't want to mention the name. I was shocked. And he wrote, some things that when I read it, I got emotional. I was emotional. I just started crying. It was not about that money. I read it and I was weeping. Like, God, do I really deserve this? It's part of academics. It's part of being an academic citizen. When last did you mentor a junior staff? You can write paper. You are good with this. They talk about you in school, but you got this rating. When last did you try to help a junior colleague? You know what we do in Nigeria now? If you see the way I suffer before I know how to write paper, you to go and suffer and see how it is. They ask you, how do you write it? Say, I remember there was a time I was like, please, how do they write paper? Somebody told me I should go and download enough journals and started reading. And you know what? I downloaded journals. I went to the library. I was reading. So by the time you read very well, you know how they write it. I read and I read and I read. And I got so many rejections. Several rejections. If I even tell you the history of my first paper, when I tell people, they laugh. You know what I did? And they say, I got COVID. I didn't know what to do. Do you know what I did? I packed all my master's thesis. I removed my first name. I removed the acknowledgement, and I sent it to the editor. And the editor sent me a nasty email. Do you think we are joking here? What do you think we are doing? And when I sent 130 pages, because I didn't know what to do, I sent in 130 pages. I removed acknowledgement and dedication, and I removed the front cover, and I packed everything. And I was like, what is wrong with this editor? Is he not even supposed to be happy? People are giving you 20 pages. I gave you 130 pages. What text do you want? And I was angry too. Why? Because there was nobody to mentor. And we still have a lot of people like that. They are there all around you. Look at your department. They are there all around you. When last did you mentor someone? You think they will forget? They will not forget. I did not forget the person who mentored me. And the ones who asked me to go and download journals too, I did not forget. When last have you mentored someone? You can see it's not all about the money. It's all about the impact. Now, involving in positive promotion of the university. They call it ownership mentality. Do you own your own institution? Huh? Let me just do my work, pay me and let me go. It's part of what? Being an academic, it's part of making impact. I remember those days when I was still at Covenant University. There's no day I'm traveling. If I have any traveling that will take me out of Nigeria, you will see me putting on Covenant. I'm always proud. I will put it on. Even where I am, I'm always proud of it. I will put it on because somebody will ask me, oh, what is this? Where is this university? Then I'll be able to talk. Oh yeah, I'll put on, oh yeah. I'm always happy. It's still part of what? It's part of engagement. Are you proud of where you are working? When last did you promote your university? When last? It's part of what we're talking about. Now, effective representation of colleagues as trade union and all the like. It's still part of what? It's part of what we're talking about. The willingness to volunteer for one duties of or the other. When last did you stand in gap for a colleague? You can't. Even my own, I'm not yet done and all the like. Now, those are the intra. Let's look at inter activities that we can do for us to be an academic citizen. Now, this includes, sorry, something is blocking this. This includes building a profile of external engagement, such as industry or professional liaison. Even some of us, because we are women, we don't belong to academic association. We just pay the money because we are busy, isn't it? We just pay NSC, just collect your money and go. Let me be. Just collect. It's money that you need. Take it. And they have several benefits that we are not tapping from. We are not connecting from. So some policy formation at national and international level, these are part of the way we engage outside the classroom. And how do we do this? We say formation at national and international level. How would they know you? You think people do not know you? They do. They do know you. You need to do more too for you to be known. Fine. That is why academics is all about what? Teaching and research. Even through your research, they can know you. They can know you through your research. There was a time I was speaking with someone, Professor Emetere. Emetere is in physics, is a known person when we talk about physics. He was saying one day that he went to the airport and he was talking, and somebody mentioned his name. Something, Emetere. One guy stood up. Are you Emetere? Are you Emetere? I've read several of your this, I've read this, I've done this, and the person started. Do you think if they ask that person, if the person has an opportunity at national and international level to make recommendation about something in energy, who do you think he would recommend? He would recommend people like that too. So it's still part of it. And when we have that opportunity, it's part of what? Academic citizenship, knowledge and exchange, then engagement with non-specialists and public communities. These are part of the way that we can engage through public lectures and activities. They are part of the ways we can engage. So public lectures, youth development, these are part of activities we can do to engage, even outside the classroom. Now, contribution to the management and leadership at regional and national level. Even at our community level, it's part of the local government level. These are part of the ways we can engage and volunteering to and building international partnership. When last did you write maybe your international association, maybe the one in US, the one in UK, when last did you just write them and even build a relationship? It's not all about money. Introduce yourself. Most time, what's the bar house is our fear. If you who knows me, I will not be heard. You have an opinion about something, you are afraid because you think you are not known. If you have that kind of feeling, then you will not be an academic citizen, and you will not be an effective academic citizen. So let's look at it practically now. Academic citizenship consists of a very wide variety of activities, such as personal tutoring of students. You see a student struggling in your class, we see that a lot, and we look away, isn't it? I've done the basic thing. I've gone to class, I've done my part. You have done the basic thing. When last did you personally tutor some student, the weak one? It's part of academics, it's part of giving back to. Mentoring colleagues, I've said that, serving in university committees and undertaking leadership and management roles. Don't run away from responsibility. It's part of what? Being an academic citizen. Working as an external examiner and, several that, organizing a conference for a professional or academic society. Yeah, there was a time we're having a conference and they were distributing and they gave me the role of, okay, Busari, you have to be the one that will head welfare. I said, welfare, what's my business with welfare? What's this, what's that, what's that? But that taking that task, has enabled me to, to meet with several people. When you're in welfare, you are the one that will go and do welcoming. They are coming from the airport, you do this, you do that. I was able to engage. I built meaningful connection based on that role. At the same, I was like, I don't want to do this. Some of my colleagues are like, go and reject it. Just tell your HOD, you are not doing. There's nothing is going to do. Just tell you don't have time. Somebody said, Busari, just do it. And I was able to establish good industrial and professional what relationship with that role and task. It's part of what academic citizenship as well and making it fine. Now, the other one is acting as peer reviewer. When last did you review a paper? When last? Because this thing is all about what? We sharing idea. When last? Because we have been very busy now lately. When we first started as when the first peer review that I had like this, you need to see how I was feeling like me too. He asked me to review a paper. And at the stage, he started what? My morale started dropping because they will not pay me for it now. Are they paying us for it? They are not paying us for it. They are not paying for it because money is not attached now. Who don't like money? But it's part of what? It's part of being an academic citizen. Now, I put this major because I wasn't so sure of my audience. Then editing a journal or serving on public committee of inquiry is part of academic citizenship too. These are just examples of some things that we can do. And I focus on peer review because I wasn't so sure, like I said, of my audience. Maybe I'll have junior academia too, with us. Now, when you do peer review, you have a lot of things to benefit yourself. I stumbled on the idea of what I wrote my proposal on for my postdoctoral research based on the fact that I reviewed a paper, peer review. I reviewed a paper and I got that insight. I picked that insight. And I wrote a proposal and I won a grant based on that peer review. Those are some of the advantages you do what you tend to gain. It boosts your career. It keeps up with your latest thinking, the latest thing in your feed. You get to know about them, not because you are reading. How many times do we even have to read? You are busy, you are there in the class, you do research, you do supervision, you do this. How many times do you even have to read? But when you review journals, you review articles, you know what? You keep yourself abreast of the latest thinking, latest technology in your field. You can see some of the things that we don't benefit now, but because of what? Because we don't want to be committed. Then you become even part of the journals community. A journal wrote one time and they have a free conference because I have reviewed for them before. My name was in the archive, they wrote me. Although I didn't go eventually, I didn't think I got it eventually, but I had privilege to get that information because what? I was part of the network. You are building network. And when they need somebody like, oh, do you know somebody who can do something on construction waste or something? They just say, wait a minute, let me look at my archives. And they scroll through. Why? Because you are engaging. These are some of the things we tend to benefit from, doing stuff like that. Then, like I said, for the junior ones, I don't know if they are here. I want to know about peer review. I say, I have not been called to review paper before. I don't know how they do it. And some of the tips, I put some tips here. You contact a journal editor. When you contact, you have not been receiving so many review, as in you have not been invited to review paper lately. There are things we can do. You can contact a journal editor. Introduce yourself. Write to them and introduce yourself. Look for a very big one. Have a dream. They say dream big, right? Look for the ones in Elsevier, in Spring, in what's it called? Other big journal, Taylor and Francis. Introduce yourself to the editor. They will contact you. Then you can ask a senior colleague to recommend you. Ask the professors in your department, please, I want to be, even if it is once in a month. You can even start with once in a month. Do it once in a month. It's part of your academic citizenship. And now, recently, some schools, when they are doing promotion, what would they ask? They will ask you to list some of the journals you have reviewed for. I don't know if that has ever happened to you before. They will ask you. I have done an interview before, like I applied for a position in Namibia. And that interview, I was like, what kind of interview is this? It was part of people that came to interview. When I tell people, they laugh. After the interview, I was like, what kind of interview is this? You don't understand. Yeah, we did, I was asked to teach for 30 minutes. After that, they asked me to do this. And what even brought the husband was the Minister for Transportation was there for that interview. I said, when you see all this small country, they can do the unbelievable thing. Was there for that interview. I said, what kind of thing is this? Is it not lecturing position? I was shocked. And they were asking me all manner of questions. And part of the question, the major thing, how many journals are you reviewing for? You can see academic citizenship. And somebody told me that, assuming you were selected, they will ask to verify. Now I'm asking yourself, we want to be a global what? A global lecturer, isn't it? How many reviews have you done this year? This is November. Ask yourself. I'm also asking myself, you to ask yourself, how many papers have you reviewed this year? I can see some of us smiling. Maybe one, even none. I'm busy, isn't it? Yeah. The little things we do, apart from what? Teaching and research, academic citizenship. Looking out for call for reviewers. We see they send call for reviewers, we ignore. Then you can even register with the journal publishers. Those are some of the things that you can do to, for you to be called to be a reviewer. I will skip some things because of time. Now, then part of the things that we can do again to be an academic citizen is going for leadership positions. And this is one thing women don't like to do because our life is full already. Now, for us to engage more, we must work more on our leadership skills. And some of us, we don't have good leadership skills. I'm working on mine too, and nobody is there yet, but we still need to work more on our leadership skill because these are the things that makes us a good academic citizen. Then we must always aspire to acquire new knowledge and skill, lifelong learning. This is another silent way of doing what? Of being an academic citizen. What new thing have you learned this year? Apart from, I have a PhD in this, what other new thing have you learned this year? Did you attend any workshop this year? Did you even do a free, even on Coursera? What new thing have you learned this year? What? You see, these are the things that we need. And again, academics isn't about paying it forward. Now, after saying all this thing, now she has said a lot about this. Now I'm so confused. Why are you so confused? Why are we so confused? Now, my life is full and what? Awesomely full. How many hours do I even have? You know, I said it in the beginning that for a woman, once it's 4 o'clock and 5 o'clock, our day is what? I don't know. Maybe for the ones who are not yet married, you still have your full hour. For the married people here, the mother and the wife, you know what I'm saying? Once it's 4 and you have gone to pick the children, 5, just forget about it. This one have this one before you know it, it's full. Now, so because of that, we have several potential barriers, and I have some practical ways that we can, use to overcome these barriers for us to be a good academic citizen. Now, when it comes to scheduling issue, which is a major problem, you have lectures back to back, isn't it? Morning till evening, Monday to Friday. Only you are still the supervisor of 10 undergraduate students, and they have their own peculiar need and their peculiar questions. Only you are the co-supervisor for 3 PhD students, just one person, just one human being. You still have your main PhD student that you are supervising, one person. And for us who have worked in Covenant University before, we belong to 13 committees, both at the college level, at the department level, because I noticed there was a time I wrote a personal letter to my own HOD that please do not put me in any committee again. I am tired. I wrote him a big letter. I went home that day. I said, enough is enough. I wrote one big epistle. And my HOD just, when I got to school the next morning, I was expecting him to just come in and let's have a chat, let's talk about this. The man just ignored. And when he said, Busari, please see me in my office, he assigned more tasks. I said, this. Sir, I had to ask him, sir, did you receive my email? He said, yes, I saw it. I'm not talking. I said, no, do this more again. I said, no problem. Let me just, yeah. You see, just one human being. You do committing, just one human being again. You have to attend to the children need. And most times again, our husbands too are babies on their own. We have to attend to their own needs too. Then we have church engagement, isn't it? Even and for the Muslims here too, mosque engagement and all the likes. And our extended families too, they need us. You can see how somely full our life is. But yet we still need to do the needful. And that is why I'm saying scheduling is an issue. And what we need to do is we need to prioritize. What do you do with your leisure time? What do you do with your leisure time? That time you used to gist with colleague, maybe this and that. The time you spend on social media, you know the way we do it now. You want to know what is trending. In the evening, and you know this thing can be so deceiving. Once you open that phone like this, let me just say hello to Facebook. 3 hours you are there. It happens to me too. I do it too. Let me just see what is happening on Instagram. 2 hours, I'm still there. It happens, but we are busy, isn't it? We are busy. And once they know, you drop the phone. Let me focus on this thing that I'm doing. Let me focus. You focus 3 hours again. It's somebody's birthday again. Let me say hello to, let me just send my own message on Facebook. And 1 hour, you are not yet out of that Facebook. What do you do with your leisure time? What do you do with it? You don't have time. No time to save time, but what do you do with your leisure time? Those time on WhatsApp, some of us can stroll people on WhatsApp. We'll be there on status. You will monitor. You have not seen the person like this face to face, but you know everything about that person's life from the beginning to the end, and you don't have time. What do you do with your leisure time? We need to prioritize. We need to prioritize. And for women, one thing that has always helped me is what? Planning my day is one thing I've always done. I've always planned my day. I will plan it. Once I wake up, 8 to 9, I know what to do. 9 to 10, I will plan it to the last 30 minutes. That has helped me to be focused. And it's not as at times I miss it, like, I just get carried away. But I'm always able to call myself back, you have not done task A, B, C, and I will go back. And that is why I've been able to be more effective with the little things I have done. Increase workload. You need to adjust. When there is a will, there will always be a way. Once you have a will that you want to do this and I want to engage, I want to give more, there will be a way. Maybe we are women, you know how we do it now. Nothing is difficult for a woman with God by our side. There will be a way. Lack of understanding. I'm not knowledgeable about this thing. I want to do more of advocacy. I don't know how to do it. Go and serve voluntarily. I don't know how to peer review paper. Go and serve. I don't know how to work on conference committee. Go and tell your HOD, I want to serve at the technical, as being don't know how to, go and serve. I want to be part of the technical committee for the forthcoming conference. Go and serve voluntarily. By doing that, you will learn. In fact, somebody was saying event planning and so on. I got to know so much about event planning from Covenant University. It's funny, right? It is so funny. I got to know so much about event planning. It has got nothing to do with academics, isn't it? But I got to learn it from Covenant University. When they started giving me committee back to back, you have to lead the head of this committee, head of that committee. I had to learn how to event from beginning to the end. It's not part of, when you give me an event now to plan, I see that I know what to do. You are expecting so people to come, I know what to do. Why? Because I've learned that being what? Just doing my, being an academic citizen. A lot of things, we have a lot of things that we can do. So don't think we are limited, we are limitless. We just need to prioritize, we need to reschedule, we need to adjust, then we need to do a more of voluntary work for us to learn more. These are the things that we can do. Now, because of my time, please, how many more minutes do I have, Ma? So that I will know how to rush this session.
Please just go ahead, Ma. Just go ahead and finish your slides. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So now I want to go to the next stage. Community engagement. You can see those beautiful people standing. Tall, short, young, old, black, white. They are waiting for us. They are waiting for us to heal the world. That is what community engagement is all about. It's all about making impact. And I was looking for, I searched and I said, I saw several definitions, but I wasn't satisfied. When I saw this, I said, yes, this nailed it. It's all about collaboration. It's all about passion. It's all about making things possible. It's all about connection. It's all about support. It's all about, being focused on what you are doing. It's all about innovation. It's all about creativity. It's all about bringing about change. It's all about giving awareness. It's all about growth. You can see 1001 thing is embedded in what? Community what? Engagement. Community engagement. How well are you engaging with the community around? So I have some ways of which we can engage. I have here direct service, giving personal time. When last have you given your personal time? I remembered when I was still at home, there was a time during my my what's it called? My annual leave. I went back to the secondary school to teach chemistry, to teach mathematics. With my initiative, I run an initiative. I went back to teach mathematics, giving back, Philomath. I call it Philomath series. It's one of the series that I run with my initiative. I go back to give 1 hour to teach mathematics. I go back to the board and start simultaneous equation. I've always loved mathematics. Is that money? I'm not giving money. To one local school, when I got to that school and I heard their story, in fact, they said for like 3 years, they did not have a chemistry teacher. I had to go there with my initiative. I had to look for volunteers. I was looking for people. Please, who can you teach chemistry? Help me teach 1 hour in a week. Help me teach. And I had, what do I want to be a doctor. I want to be a pharmacist. I want to be an engineer. How can you be a pharmacist and be an engineer without chemistry? This school does not have chemistry teacher for 3 good years. And you are there sitting down. You cannot do community engagement because you don't have money. I went there and I was almost crying. I saw beautiful, brilliant mind. I went back to teach mathematics. It could be 1 hour, it could be 30 minutes. What are you doing with that your leisure time? That your Facebook time? Can't you use it to go and teach something? There must be something you are very good at. When last have you done a direct service? You think those children will forget? They may not remember now, but they may remember in the future. It's not even about the children remember, it's about God seeing our good, it's about impact. They say humanity first, isn't it? It is humanity first. When last have you done something like that? Even in our community, go to the far outer, go to Ilaru, take 30 minutes drive your car. Go and engage. Go and give back. It's not about your money. Number 2, community research. When last have you done a community research? We have project students everywhere, isn't it? And you are seeing a problem all around, you are seeing problems rather all around you. When last have you engaged in community research? You know the solution to something based on your knowledge. You know, this thing, I feel if they do this, this might, be the solution. When last have you helped that community with that idea that you have? Advocacy. I put about this, petition, matches, letter writing to convince the government, and, I put a lot of things there. I want to dwell on something, letter writing. When I was young, there used to be a man. I don't know where he has worked before or anything, I can't remember, but I still remember faintly. This man is always writing the government. At a young age, I asked my dad, will they have to read it? Will the governor read it? Father said, yes, they will. And do you know what? They will reply him back. It's funny, right? They usually reply this man back. It may take months. But when they reply, you need to see the joy in him. He'll come and show up. See. And they will put the signature there. They will put the signature. You see that signature. They will reply back. You have the solution to something in your mind. You think you cannot be heard. And when they are doing policy formation, they are picking people at national level. Who do you think they will call? Who will remember you in that your office where you are teaching? Who? That is how they remember people. Maybe you have written the governor before something on maybe construction waste or construction accident or the bad road in Ota. You have written about 3-4 letters. When it's time, they want to do committee on something at national level. Who do you think they will remember? They'll come and remember me in my office at Oye-Ekiti when I've not done anything. How do you think they were able to stop people like Okonjo-Iweala and this woman from NAFDAC? You think because they were in their office doing pharmacy? Do you think it's all about? Are they the only pharmacist in Nigeria? What's the name? What's the name of this woman? The former NAFDAC. I've forgotten her name that passed on.
Dora Quinley.
Was Dora Quinley the most brilliant pharmacist in Nigeria? She wasn't. She did something extraordinary, apart from being a practitioner. And that was how she was spotted. Okonjo-Iweala is not the most brilliant economist in the world. They did something extraordinary. What extraordinary thing are you doing? We're talking about the list, the 10 most powerful women in education. They were doing several other things apart from teaching and research. What other thing apart from teaching and research are you doing? If you don't leave that your comfort zone, you will not be known. You see people they call people for national assignments here and there, and they say, how do they do it? It's all about doing more outside your teaching and research. Now, capacity building. When last have you done this? Training. When last have you done training? Maybe you are very good at bricklaying. When last have you done training? Have you even gone to talk to the Association of Bricklayers? It's part of giving back. It's community development. Write the head of a bricklayer in Ota or in your community. Just tell them, so introduce yourself. I want to come and give it. You need to see how happy they will be. It's not about money. And you will be known. And they will be looking for patron and matron. You think they'll come and pick you in your office if you have not done anything. And you wonder, how did they do it? And they give some people award. You see, how did they get the award? They say some of us they are biased. I just think they are biased. That is it. I think those are what they are giving because people are giving. It's not all about money. It's because those people did some other things apart from the normal teaching and research. That is why they have been recognized. And I put here again, political participation. Women, oh women. Women, oh women. Even if I asked about the last election, Tinubu and Busari, I'm sure most of us were in our house. We had temper with good vegetable and we had a good sleep. Yes, because there's no time to say time. No time to say time. We are not involved. And we do not want to be involved, isn't it? And we want to be remembered. There's no way this will happen if we are not participating. If I'm not participating in politics, I will not recommend Dr. Patience because other people may not even know her. Because I'm a colleague, I've known that this, and they say, they need something in construction. I say, I think I know someone who can do this, isn't it? I'll give recommendation because what? Because I'm involved. And 1, 2, 3, we do what? We lift ourselves out, but we are not participating. The same thing applies to me. The same. No, I said when I was reading about this thing, I learned a lot myself too. I thought I knew some, but I realized I didn't know so many. It was an eye-opener. This topic was an eye-opener for me as well. I had to jot down some things too that I also need to do differently. When last, I realized, fine, my option is in highway transportation. I see a lot of highway and transportation problem. When have I even taken my pen to write somebody that I think I can do this? When last have you participated in politics? Even ordinary voting will not vote. Because they are for the children of, they are for, how do I put it now? They are for sinners, isn't it? Yeah, it's part of what? It's part of giving back too. And several other things. Contact with representative, letter writing. I've talked about letter writing. Letter writing. Some of us have beautiful writing prowess. Yeah. I once told my student, I saw one of his writing, was it on maybe WhatsApp status or something. I had to call him and tell him that you write beautifully well. I told him, you can do this, you can do this. He'll say, hey, do this, do this. Write something, go and get a column, put something there, do this. It's part of what? It's part of community engagement. It's part of giving back. Some of us have and several other skills. Some of us have giants lying down in us that are not awakened yet. And we need to work more on that. It's still part of what? Community engagement. Responsible behavior and initiative. You have your student who has worked on hybrid car. You should be the first one to ride it all around the campus. Let them see you with it. It's community engagement. Let them see you with it. It's part of community engagement. You worked on a waste, right, in construction. Be the first person to use it. It's what? It's part of community responsible behavior. It's part of community engagement. Be the driver of a good cause. It's part of community engagement. These are the things that we can do. And now, giving back, being a philanthropist, you have the money. And for some, it's not even about money. You can source a fund. You can source a fund from people to do what? To give back to the society. It's part of giving back too. Then participation in association. Yes, I will talk about this too. That is one thing we women will run away from. Now I said it. Even NSC, we just pay our due. And that is it for the year. What they want is money. Let me give them their money and let them do their thing. Let me do my own. But we miss out from a lot of things. We can benefit a lot from association, a lot. I've benefited a lot. You can benefit a lot. You know, by the time you start participating more, you realize a lot of things come to the desk of these people. No, there was a time in my own association, they were talking about at the national level, they wanted to do something, and they were looking for what? Gender parity. Imagine gender, maybe in energy sector or something. I can't remember that sector again. They wanted to balance gender. What do you think they did? They wrote professional women in engineers. Can you nominate so give us 3 or 4 women who are knowledgeable about this course? And that was all. And they got national nomination. That was all. They got the national nomination. You can see a lot of benefits that lies with this association, and we don't know. And what they did, they threw it open. Please, you know women in this who are very knowledgeable about energy or so. And they did the nomination, and they are the national level. They didn't even do politics, so they are not children of Otedola or Tinubu, and that was how they got it at the national level. Why? Because they were active. And for some of us, we pay those money, isn't it? And you are not active. You are just shortchanging yourself. You are not active. They don't know you. No, there are some silent positions that you even take in this association that will not waste your time. People think, it's time wasting. But there are some silent things you do that will not even waste your time. They do meeting once, maybe once in a quarter, once in 3-4 months. Maybe 1 hour or 2 hours meeting online. Is it up to the number of hours you spend on social media daily? It's not. A lot of benefit lies in these things that we don't think about. Professional associations provide better networking opportunities with people who are specifically in your industry. They can assist individuals and members through learning, networking. Yeah, I have benefited a lot from this networking. When I have an issue now, a problem now, I know who to call. Why? Because I have a network around me, isn't it? Somebody called me, I need so for IT, someone please, I need IT. I'm having this one. I know who to call, not because I have money. How much do I have? But what? I've been able to establish a network through my association. I know who to call. I'm having a problem with this. I know who to ask. But for some of us, the only friends we have, they are the ones within our departments. Isn't it? And once they can't solve your problem, you are done. Life goes beyond that. Then the next thing is volunteering. When last have you volunteered? When last have you volunteered? When last? In fact, for most jobs abroad, there's always a section for volunteering. Yes. And you have all the requirements, you have all the qualifications, you have all the years of experience, but they look at it, they think you have not made any impact. You are not selfless. They tend to see it as you being selfish. You have all these things, but you have not given back. They have a section for it. And you say, I keep sending out my resume for this. I've not gotten a feedback. I've not gotten a callback. How will you get one? These are some of the things that they look out for, even for grant at times. Maybe after rating, they realize maybe 2 people are par. You don't understand. They will look for one other thing to bring one down, isn't it? And they start looking at all these silent things. You don't know that they are part of our resume. All these things are part of our resume. They are at par, or they feel, maybe the point is, if you have reviewed for grants before, a lot of things comes into place. They go back to that resume and look for one thing or the other. Okay, this one has done. Let's consider this. And this does not have this. You can see that they have so many advantages that lies within them. And I have here others, outreaches. These are things that we don't do all this with money. You can do outreach. I've done this several times. Can go to primary school, do outreach, talk, consultation, give a feedback on analysis and alternative. You read the paper, just give a feedback to the journal editor. They will not forget. They will remember. You'll be part of their circle. Be involved. Collaborate more. Collaboration. As women, we need to collaborate more. Let's leave that our department. Go and collaborate with people. Go and share your ideas with people. Collaborate more. People have a lot of stuff with them. Collaborate more. Then I have here, do you know that it is statistically proven that people who volunteer regularly are healthier, both physically and mentally? That is often, by the way. It has health benefits. You know, if you have done stuff like this, there is a kind of fulfillment that you have after doing stuff like this. You sleep and you are happy with yourself that I've been able to make an impact. You are fulfilled. It also helps medically and health-wise too. Now, then I have the benefit of community engagement, satisfaction and fulfillment. Yeah, fulfillment, sense of fulfillment. Then valuable human resources. Yes, so needed to achieve community and career goals. Valuable human resources. We'll talk about that shortly now. Enhance community and university relationship. Let's look at this. I was going through this, Carleton University. This institution is looking for, I think, the post of a maybe one dean, research dean or college dean. And I was looking at the criteria. Look at the beautiful criteria they wrote there. The professor who is applying for that must have provided consultation or collaboration that are relevant to the professor's disciplinary expertise. Now you're a professor of 20 years. You have not seen a major leadership position. Why? You can see, look at the criteria. It's there, it's listed there. Apart from your, yes, they know you teach well. Yes, they are sure you are very good with research. But look at what they are looking at. Look at the extra thing. This will not just come all of a sudden. There must be things you have been doing in the past. So that is why it's time for us to start doing something now. For us to make an impact and have an impact, we must start doing something now. Now the next thing is, okay, I've heard all this thing now. Where should I start from? Isn't it? We have learned all this now. We've talked about this, we've talked about that. Where should I start from? Let's look at this. If I see a problem, what am I personally going to do to solve that? I'm posting that question to you, pushing it back to you. If you see a problem, what are you going to do personally to solve that problem? And we have these problems all around us. They are just there. You see a student struggling in the class, what are you going to do personally to solve that problem? You see your junior colleague who cannot write paper, what are you going to do personally to help that person? You see your community having environmental problem, what are you going to do personally to solve that problem? It's all about humanity first. Not all about us first and the income we want to earn. It's all about humanity first. And I have it. Leadership is about solving problems. That is how we be a leader. That is how to be a leader. And we solve that problem what? Creatively. Problem solving and creativity. These are the extra things that we need to do. And I have this from an aviation pioneer. The most difficult thing is the decision to act. The rest is merely tenacity. Where do I start from? We need to act now. Now is the time. Now is the time to do something extra. The most difficult thing ever is your decision to act. It's your decision to start something. It's your decision to leave your comfort zone. It's your decision to start prioritizing. It's your decision to start thinking about how you want to give back to. The rest is just mere tenacity. That is what the rest is all about. And one vital thing I need to say, I've said it before, but I will still say it again. Your social media sharing is having a wonderful impact. You just don't know it yet. This phone, see the one, I'm holding my own now, is a very powerful tool. Do you know you can start a column on your Facebook about something? I like girl child advocacy. It's one thing I want to be intentional about this time. Bringing more girls to engineering. It's one thing I want to be. You know, I taught a class, my first class at the Federal University of Ekiti. I got to the class that day. I did not see a single female student in that class. I was angry. You know, I was sad. Not a female student. And they were happy. You know, the guys that they were happy. I said, where are the ladies in this? I said, we don't have any lady. They can't do this thing. How would they? I was angry. You know, to see the annoyance, my mood changed. That was nonsense.
Throughout that class, anytime I'm going to that class, I said, I'm not even supposed to be in this class, hope you know. Go and look for your counterpart to teach you. You can imagine. What am I? I started thinking. It got me thinking. I told myself, Ayobami, you need to do more. You need to do more. When last have you encouraged a girl child to the construction industry? When last? In professional women engineers, we do take a girl to work. When last have you taken a girl to a construction site? They may pick interest. What are you using your social media handle for? To do birthday messages. That is what I do too. I'm talking about myself. Oh, that is what I do. Oh. I go there once in a year and I do birthday message. Thank God I'm so here today. And people say, congratulations, congratulations, congratulations. And people are making impact with social media. What are you doing with your WhatsApp status? Why not pick a focus? Why not just pick something and be intentional about it? Let the world know you for something. Nobody knows when we are going to leave this world. What would people say about you when you are gone? Have you thought about that thing? Once you leave this world, what will people say about you? They will say, okay, you are a teacher. You are being paid for being a teacher. Don't see it as a big deal. That is what you are being paid to do. You are doing research. Yes, that's because you need promotion. We both know it. Even others will not know. We all both know it. Thank God we are all what in academics. We know we are doing that because of we just have to get promotion, isn't it? So what extra thing are you doing? The conclusion of the whole thing. I have here. Persistence is the key. That is the conclusion of the whole thing. Persistence is the key. Take a course. Make a deliberate, be deliberate, be intentional about it, and be persistent. That is the key. Now, in order to make a lasting impact, I want us to look at it. Each person has the potential of making a positive impact on the world. It all depends on what you do with what you have. What are you doing with what you have? You can write, isn't it? What are you doing with it? You are very good with chemistry. What are you doing with that skill? Not so many of us can do chemistry well. You are very good at math. What are you doing with that skill? You are very good when it comes to educating and counseling people. What are you doing? Do you know you can take 30 minutes of your time to go to a high school to counsel people? You don't know. What are you doing with what you have? Success is not to be measured by the amount of money you possess. That is not success. It's not all about the money you possess. It's not all about the number of papers you have written. Yes, it's part of it, but it's not all about that. Or the position you attain. Yes, you're a professor. We give you all the glory and the kudos. Now you have PhD. Kudos to you. It's not all about that. Rather, it is in how you use both what? Your position, your money, and your time. I talked about the 10 most influential women in education. They all have 24 hours like you have. They are all mothers to their wives. So they all have all these things. They are also very busy. Their life is also full, but they are doing extra. They are giving more. They are intentional about it. They are selfless. Are you a selfless person? That is what community impact is all about. It's about you being selfless, looking beyond yourself alone. Position and money can be squandered or abused, but they can also be used to do what? To help others. How are you helping others? Helping others is about those little things that you do apart from what? Teaching and research. I leave you to think about this. Now I want to ask this question again. Community impact. Academic citizenship, is it now a choice or an obligation? I want you to think and ruminate about this, and to know that wherever you go, strive to leave a footprint of kindness wherever you go, wherever you find yourself, wherever you find yourself in life as a woman. Try to leave a footprint of kindness, not only to your family, that's what most of us do, to our children and to our family members, no, to outsiders. Try to leave a footprint of success. Thank you so much for having me today.
Thank you so much. What can we say? This is awesome. So thought-provoking and really, really inspiring. Doc, we are really grateful. Thank you again for all
so much
that you have shared with us. Before we go to the open discussion session, we'll quickly take photographs. We'll take pictures, and we have Builder Folashade Adejola kindly help us organize the picture sessions. Ma, please, can you help us stop sharing?
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm coming, please.
It's fine. Shadi, please, can you, are you up?
Coming. I don't know
Yes,
my
ma'am.
system. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, great.
Okay. Let's put on our video. We still have some people that saw the video.
We can go ahead. It's fine, we can go ahead.
Okay, ma'am.
Shadi, are you giving us a call? Are you counting? Are you are you making us the pictures?
I'm trying to take the picture.
Don't worry, I'm taking it from here. Don't worry, it's okay. Just
Okay.
yeah, I'll take it from here.
Okay.
I thought you were going to give us a call to smile with Shadi.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah, good. Okay,
Let's put on a smiling face.
great.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, let's do one more. Okay, great. Let's do WAiC, everyone, at the count of 3. 1, 2, 3, WAiC. WAiC.
Why?
WAiC. Great. I think,
Why?
yeah, I think we are fine. Okay, good. Thank you so much, Shadi, for this session. We'll move on to the open discussion. We have a couple of people with us that want to share their experiences, want to ask questions based on their own community engagement or their own academic citizenship. So the floor is open now. We'll have Nomzam. Sorry, please. I didn't intend to murder your name, please. Okay, the floor is open. Sorry about that, please. Sorry, honestly, sorry. Yes.
Good afternoon. I'd like you to try my surname. Thank you very much, Dr. Ayobami, for such a thought-provoking and reflective talk you gave us.
Thank you so much, man.
Really enjoyed, and perhaps it has made me reflect and ask myself for the extent to which I am really contributing and giving back to my community. I've got a lot of work to, a lot of reflection that I think I need to do post today, and really in my vision board start taking this important aspect of our lives, take it very serious. So you shared a very nice point about, for me, I've done some voluntary work, but it's always a challenge to start because we always think you need to do a big thing, not start small where you are. And through the journey, what I fully concur with a lot of experiences that you're sharing with us. Most importantly is the most discouraging aspect into community participation is the tag that we always put around, the monetary reinvestment or the monetary benefit. And I thought just to add on what you shared with us, that whilst it looks like there's no monetary benefit, there is an indirect benefit to some extent, or to a large extent, a very, very large extent. And I just want to share a little bit of my experience. So over and above the other girls, and I love your initiative that you want to pursue on girl child advocacy. I'd love to participate. My hand is up.
Thank you.
But what I have learned, so I basically had an opportunity to study in Australia, to be specific. And one of the opportunities that I do get in return to sit with I think pre-COVID, they would interview potential interested African colleagues that would like to pursue the master's program abroad. And so I've sat in the panel pre-COVID and post-COVID. What has been interesting for me post-COVID is the emphasis around the examples of community engagement that you have done as an applicant. And that carried quite a big weight in the evaluation criteria. So the point that I'm trying to really highlight is the fact that whilst when you're doing this voluntary work or community engagement or giving back to community, it looks small and it looks daunting. It feels daunting. However, at a global scale, such small, daunting, selfless actions that you are making, they open a lot of opportunities that you wouldn't ordinarily have access to. I think one of the questions we had this year was, what community engagement project have you worked on, and what was the impact? And really the expectation was a detail of, this was the problem, and this is the solution that I implemented, and this is the impact that it has done. And that carried such a big weight. So I wanted to add on that indirectly that becomes a benefit. You don't get the money up front, but you would get an opportunity to access the scholarship program to go and stay in Australia for whatever number of months that your master's a master's degree that you want to pursue will take a fully paid up scholarship. Yeah, that's what I wanted to share for now. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your contribution. In a nutshell, what she has just said is that we might not have immediate benefit. There might not be immediate benefit, but once we do these things, the surely will count. Like in the case she has given now, for this particular partnership between South Africa and Australia, for those that want to study for this particular opportunity, without this evidence of engagement, you will not be able to have the scholarship. So that's just one example. So there are several ways these things unfold and we benefit from them. Thank you again so much for that contribution. We are grateful for that. So let's have Christiana Adar. She will also share her own experience or ask a question based on her own experience with community engagement.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ma, for first and foremost for the wonderful discussion. It was actually an insightful one. I want to start by, I want to just say I'm still growing in the academia, still growing. I've actually reached out to some people, okay, that I felt that they've been ahead in the, maybe ahead in academics for counsel. And I remember meeting a particular person, and at the end of the day, she wanted us to write a paper, which I did, and that was where it stopped. I wanted her to mentor me. She's actually a prof now. I wanted her to mentor me, and at the end of the day, nothing was coming of it. It was just about, let's write a paper. Okay, get me a paper or get me a particular detail, which I did. I took my time, I did research, and it ended there. I've written to several people for inspiration, for for mentorship, and it was actually just a guy. He was in South Africa then as a PhD student. He's currently in London. He was the only person. I remember I I did a research and I sent to him and he went through it and he was able to do a lot of things. He taught me a lot of things. And I don't know this person. So I just want to say that even though at times you want people, you want to be mentored. Most times some people feel they don't have your time. Some just feel let's just write a paper and then even the paper, there won't be any contribution. You're just doing everything and it's just beyond writing paper. You know this person is ahead. You just want to learn something. You want to be good. You want to be better than where you're coming from. I feel we don't have a lot of women mentors. Yes, we say a lot of things about mentorship, but once you get close to people, once you even some will not even reply your message. I've written to some people through ResearchGate. I've written to some people through emails, and at the end of the day, you're just there trying to become better by yourself. So I just want to say that beyond the talk, I think those that have gone ahead, I'm just saying so because I'm still growing, I'm just starting. I feel we should put in more effort beyond just the talk. Let's have time for other people. Just like our keynote speaker have said a lot of things, but I just feel that my experience at the point I was actually discouraged. So I stopped writing. I don't maintain that guy in South Africa, that PhD student. Whatever I have, I just keep sending back to him and he will always respond. I'm a PhD student currently. And I remembered I did some analysis and I asked him that, okay, guide me. He will always, I know he's very busy, but he will always respond. He takes his time to respond. So in terms of that, it's not intra now, I think it's inter. I think we should do more as women to encourage others. We can say a lot of things, we can organize a program as this, but I think we should go beyond just beyond the program and practically do it. If somebody writes to you, I think you should, even though you're busy, at least respond. If you can't even help the person or you can't put the person through, that response alone will give the person joy. That so at least you are interested in my welfare or in my well-being. Okay, then about practically doing it. I remembered as a young lecturer then, I'm still in, about when I was in my year 1 or so, after getting my appointment as a lecturer, I remember anytime I go to class, I always like, beyond the lecture, I always like encouraging students to, I encourage them when I'm teaching surveying. I encourage them that beyond just probably we are giving quantity surveying to study and you're not even it wasn't your initial course of interest. I found ways of just encouraging them to to continue in that, and I also know that in some ways I've also gotten a one-on-one discussion with my students. I know I've encouraged, even though I'm outside the school right now doing my PhD, I still communicate with some of my students, encouraging them on their thesis, their research work. Some of them have come to me, they've sent me emails or WhatsApp messages, how do I do this? How do I do that? And I encourage them. Then in terms of mentoring younger colleagues, I had a student that is currently a junior lecturer in our department. I remembered I worked on her thesis. I helped her. I supervised her work, so I was able to okay, this is how you do it. And at the end of the day, she published the paper. So what I just want to say is that at times we may think that it has to be official, it has to have a big title before we see it as being an academic citizen or community engagement. It must not have a title. It must not have something. Maybe you are in view of a scholarship, in view of a reward before it's actually worthwhile. I think at whatever, just like our speaker said, at whatever level, as we have the opportunity, let's do it. It must not have a formal title. It can be informal, but let's make sure that we're impacting lives. And let's do it practically. Let's not just say it and it just ends there. Practically, I'll just say it out here that I'm looking for mentors. I'm looking for mentors. But most times when you get close, and at the end of the day, you're not being encouraged at all. So I just want to just encourage. I know we have a lot of senior colleagues on this platform. Please and please, just try and mentor people. Try and mentor other young people. We have a lot of young ladies that want to go far in their research. They want to go far in the academic, in construction, whether as a lecturer or as maybe as a practicing quantity surveyor or an engineer. Let's just encourage them. Let's go out of our way and respond to their plea, respond to their requests. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much for that. That was touching, but let's just take before I respond, let's just take Doc's comments. Dr. Busari, you're up.
Thank you so much, Ms. Christiana. I really appreciate that feedback. Now, one thing I want to let you know is that even at senior, I'm not a senior yet. I'm still aspiring to, but we have all been there before. I understand that feeling. I understand how it feels. What you just said now is something that I've cried about before several times. I've cried several times. You know, especially when you are coming from the industry, you think you know the profession, and you get to the academics and you are struggling. I know what it means to struggle. And you struggle and you struggle, and you are putting in so much effort, and it's as if you are doing nothing. You know what it means to you go to the library, you read, you do this, you write, and all you get is rejection. And you are crying for help. It's as if nobody is saying you. I've been there. I know what it means. All I just want to tell you is keep doing what you are doing. Do not be discouraged. Just keep at it. There was a time when I was still struggling with my paper writing. I will give you some tips that I have used that has worked for me. When I was still struggling, I was struggling. At a stage, I got discouraged. I said, after I told you my first experience, I took my master's thesis. It was that bad. I don't think yours will be as bad as that. I took everything. I said, see, editor needs 20 pages. I will give this editor 130 pages. What else does he want? I packed the 130. I made sure I removed my cover page. I did that. And I removed acknowledgement and dedication. It's not necessary because it's not part of the reading. And I dashed. In fact, I was keeping the mail. I said, I will show my children. The editor composed one nasty email that, do you think we are joking here? What do you think we are doing here? And when I got that message, I was angry again that, how can I give you 130 pages and you are not even appreciative? When people are giving you 20 pages for you to see how bad it was, and I was running from pillar to post, crying for help, and it was as if nobody was saying it. And at the stage, I told my husband, I said, see, maybe I will go back to the field. Maybe this academic world is not meant for me. It got to that stage, yes. I was tired, I was drained. Still struggling with PhD, struggling with everything, and I was drained, I was tired. And I went to meet Dr. Patience, who know Professor Kenny, they know Professor Kenny. I went to his office that day. I said, I'm tired. I've done this, I've done that. And he looked at me and gave me one analysis. And that thing changed my life till now. He said, Ayobami, have you seen a welder or a goldsmith working that wants to cut a piece of steel with his knife? He held onto his pen, just like I'm holding onto it. He said he took a knife and he was trying to cut a piece of metal, a steel. He said, is it possible? I said, no. How will you use knife to cut a steel? Professor Okinyi said, but do you know what? This man persisted. Morning, afternoon, night. He kept cutting. Morning, afternoon, night, he kept cutting. After a while, what do you think will happen? I said, we'll have a breakthrough. He said, Ayobami, go back to your office and keep cutting it.
And that was it for me.
Mm.
That was it for me. He did not say much. He said, I have a class now. I looked at that man and I stood up. And it was in my brain that I need to keep cutting. And I kept cutting. I kept doing it. I kept doing it. I was getting those rejections. For every rejection, there must be a reason. I was still at it. I kept doing it. And one day, I got a breakthrough. What was someone lady? I said, I'm still grateful to now because he even gave me, I've written that paper, he just looked at it. I just, and sent it out. And it went. Now, the first thing I did that helped me was one, always the first thing you do, send your paper to an high impact journal. It looks stupid. It helped me. No matter how stupid your paper is, send it to an high impact journal. Not at the back of your mind that you get rejection. You get it? But they will tell you why. Start with the why. Why was this paper rejected? They will give you 3 reviewers reports. Work on your reviewers reports. Then go down. From higher, go down. I used to scale them. I'll do the impact rating 3.0. You will see me shooting at construction and building materials. In fact, now I have construction and building materials paper, but I can't count the number of rejections I've had. I push it there first, and it will come with 3 reviewers. I'm always happy to see the reviewers' comments. I will download it. I will rewrite that paper. I will come down, send it to 1-point-something journal. By the time I get to 0.4, 0.5, it will be accepted. Without the input of running from pillar to post from in the corner of my office. I do that. And I still do it till now. Eat it I first. That is why you just don't sit there and write one paper. You will have promotion, you have 10 papers of promotion. Make sure you write like you have about 10, 15. Keep sending them out. Go to high impact. Let them come back. Once they come back, scale it down. That has helped me a lot. And it's still helping me till now. It's one of my secrets till now. I don't need to run from one professor. Even professors' papers get rejected. Do you know?
Yes, yes.
They battle with rejection too. Nobody knows how to write it all. Let it go. And I keep telling my students, even my professors, I'll tell them, they say there's no perfect paper. Push it out. Let it go. Don't be afraid. And it will come with those comments. Go back to those. That is what I need. I will go back. Some people will lash you. They will talk. Some will give you 3 pages of review. That is the breakthrough that you need. I bet it with you, Christiana. By the time you work on those corrections, from 3.0, right, go back to 1.0. You will see that the correction is either minimal, maybe accepted with minor correction or minimal corrections. You don't need to run. I know it is difficult. I stopped doing that at a time. I talked to myself at the stage. I stopped it. And I told myself, let the rejection come. And number 2, you need to develop a thick skin. Everybody, they take rejection. Sorry, let me speak my Nigerian pidgin English. Apology, Namzo. Yeah. Everybody, they chop rejection. All of us, they chop palm. In my Nigerian English. I'm sorry. So don't think, if you come to Busari, I'm also getting rejection. Dr. Patience will tell you, to Dr. Patience, don't you used to take rejection? Go and call Professor Okeni, they will tell you, go and call go and call number 1, number 2 in Scopus. We all of us, they eat rejection. Embrace your rejection. Those are gone are those days when I was rejection, I'll be crying. Now I embrace my rejection. I chest it with my full chest. And I go back to the drawing board and reanalyze it. Somebody asked me when they say, how were you able to get so many papers like this? I said, you don't know where I'm coming from. Okay, he told me, keep cutting. And I kept cutting. I keep cutting. Good, bad, I send it out. You will see me sending 3, 4 papers out in a month. You think it's because I'm expecting acceptance. I know it will not be accepted, but let it go. Go back to your archive, Christiana. You are enough. You are enough. You have a master's degree, you know the rudiment of research. You are enough. You need to build that confidence. Build it. Have that self-confidence. You can do anything. Go back to your archive. I know you have a lot of them written there that you don't know what to do with them. I know it's there. I've been there. So I can tell you, you have 4, 5. I know they are there. Christiana, after today's lecture, go back to your archive. Push them out. Don't send it to 0.3. Send it to 3.5, 4.0. Shoot at the star. But do not expect acceptance. Let them come back. When they come back, go back to the drawing board. And there will be a way out. With God on our side, the Bible says we can do all things through Christ. You are enough. You are enough. You have run from pillar to post. It's enough. I've done that too. You have gotten to this stage whereby you need to do what? Build that confidence. Let the rejection come. Know that professors too hit rejection. Busari too are hit rejection. I just got one some few days ago. Yes, we hit it back to back. And we are not discouraged. Keep cutting. Use that your tiny knife. That is your pen. And do what? Keep cutting. One day, there's going to be a breakthrough. That's number 2. Then number 3, have one professional colleague. I never said senior colleague. Professional colleague that you can rub mind with. This really helped me a lot. I don't know if Professor Patience knows Tenebe in Mokai. He's now in the US. Oh my God. Back to back. We they hit rejection together. We go analyze them together. See how far they don't take that paper. Now rejection. We'll sit down. What did the editor say? We are in different fields. He's in water, I'm in highway. We'll sit down. What did the editor say? I will note it down. He said, hey, this one, yeah, you know, and this one, in touch, I suppose put them here. I go put them there. I will write it down. I'll go back to my own. I will adjust it. That is how we're dragging ourselves. And the first time we're listed on Scopus, we just look at ourselves like, what? Even the ones we're running to help us, we're not even listed. The ones we're running to, that I would say, please, let me collaborate with you. I'll be begging, please put me in collaboration. Say, no, no. Yeah, you see, I will go back again and cry like the world hates me. Everybody hates me. My sister, go and re-strategize. And to everybody listening to me, you are enough. We are women. And you know what? Most of them, especially those our male colleagues, they see us as a threat too. You don't know. That is how the academic world has been created. It's a world of competition. You don't get it. They see like you want to compete. By the time you now know it now, you'll now be writing papers. They will not be doing it. They will not be doing that. My dear, you have tried enough. Today, go and open that your archive. Start one by one. Don't bother. Don't even bother to rewrite much about. Just send it out. They've abused me before. The editors. If I told you nasty email. If I read their email now, before I used to cry, but now I'm laughing. Send it out. You have done enough. Stop running from pillar to post. Everybody with a chop rejection. Thank you.
Thank you so
Wow.
much.
Thanks so much. That was hot, hot and real. Thank you for being your authentic self, Doc. Honestly, thank you for being your authentic self. It helps. Thank you for the practical examples. Before we move on.
You're welcome, ma. You're welcome, ma.
Before we move on, I would just like for us to recognize the presence of Professor Adobo. She's a professor of quantity surveying. She's an awesome woman, one of the very, very top, up there. Thanks, Prof, for joining us today. We are thankful and grateful. I just want to quickly make a comment regarding what Mrs. Ada said. 2 things I want to say. One, you had gone through a lot of pain, obviously, but the point is, do not recycle your pain. I know you're not recycling your pain. I'm thinking that you're not that kind of person. But you see, the problem we've had in the industry this while with some women is because, or some colleagues, is because they recycle their pain. You've had this experience. The next thing in your head is someone else to also go through this pain. We shouldn't recycle our pain. Instead, we should see how we can use that as a positive leap for others. Okay. And another thing I want to say is that we don't need to it must not be someone that we think this person must be our mentor. It could be anyone. Provided it's learning, we can learn from anybody. If those that we think should mentor us are not mentoring us, we can look for other people, like Dr. Busari has said. Okay, it can even be a man. Okay, it can be a male colleague. Okay, at times you find that female colleagues are so, I don't know, they are so somehow to us. Some are like, to themselves, they don't want to share. Once you find that you notice that kind of behavior, you just leave the person. I learned something from Bishop Oyedepo and Dr. David Oyedepo, Chancellor of Covenant University. He said there is a concept called mentorship by readership. Mentorship by readership. That is, you are mentored just by reading the works of others. Now, in this IT age, I want to say mentorship by virtual connection. Okay, they might not even know you are even there. You're just watching their steps and checking what they do and doing likewise. okay, and before you know it, okay, you're moving on. So I don't want any of us to be discouraged. That's why WAiC was formed. You can reach out to any of us, any of the speakers, and if you need help, and we'll see how we can help you. We're not promising the world, but we can do the little that we can do. So sorry that you had to have that experience. I know if you ask each and every one of us here, we will have one bitter story to tell or the other, but we thank God they've all become testimonies. So let's move on to the next person. Sandra, you'd like to share?
Thank you, Dr. Pat, and thank you, Dr. Busari, for sharing your wealth of knowledge and insights as well. I think for me, it's been a truly inspiring session. I'm learning a lot as an aspiring academic. I think I want to comment mainly on the community engagement, because for me, the academic citizenship section was more of a learning session. So I have a follow-up question regarding some of the issues that you did touch on. But in terms of community engagement, what I wanted to share is from my personal experience, I think when we look at community engagement, it's more of an intrinsic or a personal experience. My interests generally lie in gender, health, and the built environment. And when I explain that to people, they often get confused when they ask me back home, oh, what do you do? And now I have to start explaining, oh, I'm the co-founder of a feminist organization, or I'm the owner of a retail pharmaceutical business that also has a social aspect, a social impact aspect, because now they're like, no, but you're an architect. How does that all fit into the realm of architecture? And now it goes back to my personal experiences and what I've gone through in life in terms of my academic journey. I remember in architecture school, I didn't have any female lecturers to look up to. The department was full of men. And you'd find that most of the opportunities were being handed to the male students. I remember we had one lecturer that said, oh no, I'm available to all of you guys, except for the girls, 24/7. And we were a class of 3 girls, so it meant that we weren't accessing all of the opportunities that our male counterparts were. And because of that, I saw that there was a problem, there was a gap, especially when it comes to like women in our industries. And I was like, no, I need a platform, I need a space where women can come together, we can share opportunities, we can build professional networks. It doesn't matter which industry you're in, what type of opportunities you're looking for. So when it comes to community engagement, I think it doesn't necessarily have to be aligned with the type of work that you're in at that particular moment. Just because I'm an architect doesn't necessarily mean I have to be designing 24/7. I can look at specific gaps within the realm of architecture that are related to our experiences, our journeys, that transcends beyond the technicalities of the profession. So that's what I wanted to share when it comes to community engagement. And as I said, I am an aspiring academic. So I wanted to find out from you, you touched on a lot of things when it comes to academic citizenship, mentoring, building networks. You talked about approaching reviewers, peer reviews, approaching journals, etc. So from my point of view, especially looking at the department that I come from and being one of 2 women in the department, and I'm not even in the department as a full-time lecturer, so the department only has 1 full-time female lecturer. How do you navigate imposter syndrome, especially when you're surrounded by a very environment?
All right. Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you. We
Okay,
can-
you want me to talk? Okay. Yeah, Sandra. That's a very serious one. I understand. A especially where you are in a profession, for most of us in the construction industry, I mean in construction, women in academic and in construction field, I know how it feels. It's usually the case. At a stage in my department, so I used to be the only female. I used to be the only female in my department, not until Dr. Fuyato joined, and we became two, and then later people joined. So now, I said it before that our male counterparts tend to see us as competitors. Yeah, they see us as competitors. And most time I tell them, I'm not here to compete with you. I'm only here to compliment you. I'm not saying you should stand up, just shift for me like this. Let me also sit down. Yes, I'm not, just shift for me. Let me sit down. That is what I mean. I tell them and they laugh. Stylishly, I will tell them. I'll say, I ask you to help me with this. You think I'm here to compete with you? Oh, no, I can't. I just say, shift a bit. Let me sit. They'll just say, boo-boo. And we'll talk about it and forget about it. Now, I think the number one thing we need to do, in fact, it got so bad in my own department, I would not want to mention, it got so bad that they said that when we were doing my PhD research, I was using some equipment with some guys. At a stage, they packed all the equipment away so that I will not have access to them. Got that bad. These are moments when I will cry and cry. In fact, I told my guys, I'm not doing it again. It's this way. I was doing well indeed. Let me go back. They packed everything. Guys, they would just gang up like this. And they packed everything. And I had nothing to work on. And we're running the same program. Have you experienced something like that before? I got angry, but one thing I've noticed is we need to have a very good charisma. Be positive about life. As women in academics and where we have found ourselves, we must have a very thick skin. That has really helped me. They do a lot of things. I don't put them to heart though. They know me. I will not put you to heart. I will see you the next day. I will greet you. And I will tell you, you went to pack equipment so that I will not work. Now lie, it will not work. You open that. You open it. You say, not me. I said, even you, okay, let's go and look for it together. I will drag them one after the other. And then when they go, I say, you will not help me. You have to help me. Oh. I started, because at a stage, I was bitter. I was angry. It wasn't helping the man. It was rather getting worse. Stylishly, you just have to go back because we need them. One way or the other, we have found ourselves here. There's nothing we can do. We just have to find a way of doing what? Of working with them. It's a very sensitive matter. It's so painful. We just have to find a way of work. They will resent you, but let them know you are not here to compete with them. I will tell them, I'm not competing with you. You are the Odogu. I will give them, you are the Odogu. Just shift, let me see. Just shift, let me see. I'll say, this is one thing I want you to teach me. And I will sit on your neck, teach me. I will tell you, see, I just pity me, teach me. And once I get it, they will not write it on the face. I will tell them, they will not write it here. Busari, begi. Nobody will write it. So you just have to approach them with a lot of positivity. And please develop a thick skin. You do not develop that thick skin. They do this to get at you. Nobody wants to, nobody wants to mentor you. Nobody wants to help you in any way. And it will affect your morale. And once that happens, you will not have a headway. And once you don't have a headway, then you have started having problems. And once one or two have some opinion about you, before you know it, that is how they are gathered. They say it is women that used to do stuff like that. Even guys too, they do it. They will just go behind your back and gather. And that may even be your hand in academics. Because when you are frustrated, what will you do? You have to back out. So you just have to develop a strategy of how you are going to manage it. They are necessary evils. So they say women are necessary evil. Men in construction academics, they are necessary evil. We need them so much, badly. But at a stage, when I can't do some things, I'll go and call them. I will go and call them. I will sit on their neck like this, that I can't carry it. You have to help me. You have to help me. They say, hey, if you get the PhD, now my name go there. I go say, just help me, pity me. I will be on their neck and they will do it. I will have my way. I won't fight you. No matter how hard, I will not fight you. I will be saying it jokingly, but you will do that thing for me. Yeah, and what it's just have a positive attitude towards them. Don't let those things get at you. By the time they start getting at you, they will push you out of academy. They will be the one to push you out, and they will celebrate it. So you still have to go back to them. We need them. We cannot do without them. We need them. Go back to them stylishly. If they feel offended, apologize. I say, in any way I've offended you, I beg, because I'm sorry. In any way, but this thing, I need it. I will sit on your neck and I'll get it done. Please just go back and develop a positive attitude towards it, right? And study them. That is what works for me. It may not work for you. It depends on temperament. That may be my own temperament. That may be my own kind of person. You understand? That does not mean you are that kind of person. Just sit down and know what works for you. But I want you to have it at the back of your mind. Men in academics, they are necessary that we need. Without them, we will not have a headway. Ask all of us, women in engineering, that is how we have been managing them. Or else you will not do what? You will not have a headway. Yeah, because you get to a stage that even your own strength, physical strength, cannot push you through. At that stage, what do? You still need them, right? So Sandra, that is what advice I will have to give you. Go and look at what works for you. Study your temperament, right? And I tell people again, there's a psychological part of this thing. There's what we call psychology in this thing as well. There's a part of you reading people's love languages, know what they want. It is very important. I teach my students in class. I teach them love languages in class. Understand what they want. Understand what they need. If you have a HOD that you don't understand his love language, you cannot, it's not romantic love language. It's official love language. If you do not understand their love language, you cannot survive. You will not survive. I have an HOD once that everybody will have issue with the person. Issue here and there. I never had one. Because I sat myself down to understand what his love language was, official love language. And what is it? It's word of appreciation. Oh my good God. Once you can get that with him, in fact, if he wants to give query, he will call me, Busari, are you sure you have done this thing? Go and do it. And I finish, in the next 1 hour, I will serve his query. I'll be exempted. The Bible said the wisdom is what? It's profitable to direct. Sorry, to my non-Christian people here. Bible says wisdom is profitable to direct. Look for their love language. Look for official love language. I'm not saying romantic love language, it's an official word. Look for their love language. Look for what works for them. That is the only way you can get the best out of them, because without them, they will make that department hell for you. And once you want to go to work and you are having issues, you will not be at your best. Right? So those are the little tips that I have. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Doc. We have Prof's hand lifted up. So let's have Professor Adubo.
Yeah, thank you so very much. And Dr. Busari, thank you so much for the talk. I just wanted to chip in on the issue of imposter syndrome. That's something that a lot of women suffer and go through. But one of the things I think I just want to point out to you, Sandra, and to all of us here, if you have that tendency to, feel like you're an imposter, it normally would suggest that you are a high achieving individual. If you have imposter syndrome, then it means you are already a high achieving individual. You have met some goals or some targets that ordinarily, you should not have met, perhaps because of your gender or your age or some other criteria. But one of the things for me, one of the things I do is to have what I call my personal declarations. There was something Dr. Busari kept saying earlier, you are enough. And I tell myself, you have every reason to be on the table. I have every reason to sit on the same table with all these colleagues of mine that, think that I may not deserve it, or they think that I haven't worked hard enough for it, or whatever it is. So imposter syndrome is something that you have to keep dealing with, but have some daily confessions or declarations that you make, because it's actually a self-doubt system that has a way, if you're not careful, it can pull you down. So personal declarations, share your feelings. You've done that on this platform, but share with colleagues, because when you talk to people, they tell you, oh, this is what I appreciate about you. This is what I learned from you. It has a way of boosting your confidence. Celebrate your successes. And please don't, if as much as possible, avoid trying to be perfect. Because for high achieving individuals, for people who are very smart, very intelligent, I can tell you this much: the fact that you're here is a clear indication that you're a very smart and intelligent person. And one of the tendencies that people like that would have is you want to be perfect all the time. You may not always be perfect, you may not always have all the answers, and it's okay. But celebrate where you are and have some declarations. I can't give you, declarations. It's something you have to build up for yourself. But I think that the fact that you are even sharing this, it tells me a lot that you've achieved much. You have targets that you have set for yourself, and I know you will achieve those targets that you have set. So thank you very much. That's just what I wanted to chip in.
Prof,
Thank you, ma'am,
for your contribution. Thank you so much. Yes, the floor is now open. Anyone has any other thing to say, by way of question or any contribution, we can quickly ask our speaker before we close for today. Questions or contribution before we close? All right, I think we've come full circle. We'd just like to say a very big thank you to every one of us that has made it here today. Particularly, we want to appreciate our speaker. Thank you for your time, Ma. Thank you for considering, in fact, taking into consideration the time difference and just staying up all night just for us. We are grateful and thankful. And for the rest of us, we are really thankful for joining in. We know today is Monday. We usually have it on Tuesdays, but we had to make some considerations because of our speaker as well. She had some other appointments that will be happening tomorrow. So, you still made it today to join in spite of Monday busy schedules. Honestly, we are grateful and we are thankful for that. And like, as I said on the platform, this will be our last meeting for the year. We'll resume again in January by God's grace. It's just so that we can just soak in all we have been hearing since the year began. And what a joy this topic, this lecture is coming at this time, at a time where we can really have the reflections on how we want our years moving on to be like in terms of being impactful. And one thing I'm also taking away from here is that when these feelings of imposter syndrome comes on, is because one is a high achiever. It means you're doing some things right, and that's why people are bothered about you. When you start having those feelings, those side talks, is because you are doing something right, and we shouldn't be discouraged because of that. Instead, look for people to speak with, so that you don't fall into any form of discouragement. So the next year promises to be great, with a lot of activities already lined up. And we are sure that God will help us to achieve all that we set out to achieve. And to say that we are wishing everyone a very good break, a great break. I know we are still working for November and December, but then we wish you all a great break, good time to reflect. And also, let's try to take care of ourselves. The year has been wonderful. Let's find time to rest, find time to make our plans for the coming year. So thank you again, everyone. We are grateful. We'll still keep the communications open via the platform, the WhatsApp chat, the WhatsApp platform rather, and whatever information we have, we'll still keep circulating. And we want to thank all those that made the discussion today, Nomzamo, Sandra, and Mrs. Ada. Thank you so much for the insightful contributions as well. We are grateful. And for everyone else on the platform that joined us here today, every one of you, you're special, and we are really, really, really grateful to you. Thank you so much. And God bless you. See you next year by God's grace. Bye.
Bye. Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you.